Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Darren, a first year medical student studying at Monash University here in Melbourne, Australia. Today we'll be talking about English language, and particularly something that a lot of students get confused about or get wrong, and that is the difference between coherence and cohesion. So I know the SACs for English language are quite different from school to school in terms of what order you do them in, but I know a lot of my students and a lot of people are heading into that AC short answer part of their SACs, and so coherence, cohesion, and the distinctions between them are quite important, and so I'll put the study design for the relevant study design part on your screen now. And we'll just reiterate some of the main points here. So it's important to recognize that coherence is this broad category with like a fixed number of metalanguage underneath it, and one of the ones is cohesion, and cohesion has its own subset. So we have coherence, and the way I remember coherence is CC. There's not many other ways to remember it because of just how many C's there are. This is just the way I remember it. Cool. So the first C I usually allocate to cohesion, inference, logical ordering. Some people get confused and think it's listing, especially in the heat of the moment. Just remember it's logical ordering, formatting, conventions, and consistency. And remember that coherence is how well something can be understood. And so whenever you analyze these things, you have to link them all into how well or how it helps the text be more able to be understood, more coherent. Just to reiterate, cohesion has its own things. Inference is when you use words that only a certain group understand, for example, the Bachelorette, or say the name of an NBA player or AFL player, whatever. Only a certain group will know what that means. Logical ordering can be broad, like the logical ordering of an entire piece, maybe morning, afternoon, night. That makes it really easy to follow. Or even within those sections, morning, brush your teeth, eat your food, and that has its own logical ordering as well. Formatting is a lot, can be the formatting of the text as a whole, the way that maybe there's text structured in various ways. Maybe it looks weird on the page, pictures, and also the word format as well. So bold, capital, italics, all that kind of thing. Conventions is conventions of, for example, a letter. You might say dear, kind regards, might have your address, and for a speech you'd have things like address at the start, good afternoon, and probably a thank you at the end. Consistency, I didn't use much. There's one in the piece I'm about to show you guys. So I'm going to show you guys my cohesion paragraph for an AC I wrote early on in the year, but the consistency thing was quite weak. Consistency just means something that's recurrent and that they keep up throughout the whole text. I have seen students speak about good examples of this. I personally never used it, but you can definitely argue it and link it into the text being more understandable because of this recurrent pattern. Alright, cool. And then we have cohesion. So cohesion, as you saw in the study design, you can memorize those, look at those. The main ones I used, particularly for ACs, were conjunctions. So just beware with conjunctions. It's referring to conjunctions at the start of sentences. If it's just I bought an apple and a pear, that's not really cohesion. It's more so if it's like he went to school and his best friend John was there. So after the full stop and his best friend, and links back to the previous sentence, shows that it's a continuation, and cohesion is all about how the text links. Cohesion, other points, anaphoric referencing. It's very common. What else was there? Synonymy, and whoops, I spelled it wrong. Hyper and hyponymy, and also an important one is ellipses. So there are a lot more in the study design. I think pick the ones you feel comfortable with, the ones you find quite common, and stick with those. So alright, let's have a look at our paragraph. So usually I'd split my paragraph in terms of coherence, which gets to about here. Whoops. Coherence and then cohesion here. I keep them separate because people often get them confused, and that's what examiners often look for. They want you to be able to distinguish between coherence and cohesion. Best way to do that in AC, keep them separate. I just have this linking sentence: cohesive ties contribute to coherence, because that's what cohesion is. It's a subset of coherence. It contributes to that, but because it has its own set of meta-language, I keep it separate while linking it. So coherence, I have things like inference, and it's always linking back to how well it's understood. So inference is good because you can avoid unnecessary repetition, so you don't hammer the same idea over and over again. Formatting helps, and clear to the reader, which is the important part, helps the reader navigate the piece, all this formatting stuff, which is coherence. Italics is a convention, and aware that it's a brief background to the piece. So you can sometimes link, so I linked formatting and conventions there. Consistency, this isn't a strong point. I'd say, I say don't use it, because it's pretty obvious, and it's not that smart of an idea. You could better use the words elsewhere. And so cohesion, here I have anaphoric referencing, synonymy. Synonymy, I could link these more tightly to cohesion, which is linking the piece together. I do say, reduces the need for unnecessary repetition. Unnecessary repetition is avoided, but more so than that, I could emphasize the point that anaphoric referencing links aspects of the text together. So this noun is linked with the pronoun now, like it and the computer has been linked together. And with synonymy, words, these link together text in that the whole text is centered around construction and building a railway. So these words all reinforce that idea throughout different parts of the text, and so aid cohesion. So cohesion, linking, coherence, understandability. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's video. I hope you've gotten something out of it. So the distinctions between coherence, cohesion, how to structure a paragraph on coherence, cohesion in your AC, and some of the sort of important meta-language in cohesion that to look for, and coherence, this is just all the meta-language that's relevant to coherence. So good luck for your SACs, and in particular English language ones, as this is what we covered today. I hope I've clarified this aspect of Englang. If you have any other concepts you'd like me to cover, just leave a comment, and I'll consider it for a upcoming video. Good luck for your assessments, and I look forward to seeing you all next time.